Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is detention centers in all 50 states. No, I'm not kidding. As a matter of fact, I thought about putting this in the offline, the unfiltered area, but I see that several other large platforms, much larger than ours, is talking about this and interviewing these same people. So if they can do it, we ought to be able to do it. I recommend, if you want to have your wealth not lost, if you've got it in an IRA, if you got it in a 401k, if you got it in a bank, if your wealth is in paper, as Lindsey Williams said, it's worth the paper it's written on. In other words, it's about to be worthless. So I'll send you to prophecyclubgold.com. You can also reach them. Call 800-200-4653. 800-200-4653. They'll give you some ideas on what to do. That is their job, to help you not lose your wealth. Prophecy Club Bar, as in B-A-R, bar.com, to get the new Prepper Bar. Awesome.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. The smart choice for savvy investors and preppers alike. With Silver Prepper Bars, you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. As gold and silver prices continue to surge and top economists predict upcoming shortages, now is the time to secure your precious metals in the form of Prepper Bars, the only bar on the market divisible into 3 sizes for maximum utility. Place your order before supply runs out and prices go up. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Don't leave your future to chance. All payment methods accepted. Order your Silver Prepper Bars now, 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.
Okay, so before we get started, and I probably will bring this up several times, but in the new Trump versus United States Supreme Court decision that just came down regarding immunity for the president, this was on page 30, and this was what Sotomayor said concerning the immunity. So if you look at the yellow area, it says that the president is now a king above the law. In other words, she didn't like it, but I think that's interesting. And thank you, by the way, for sending me emails. I would never have found this if it wasn't for our viewers sending me emails. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, so it says president is now king above the law. Okay, so today's program. It's really risky. And a matter of fact, before I get into that, let me just back up. You know, I've been doing this for since 1993. So what's that? 31 years. Okay, so long time. And right around Y2K, around coming up the year 2000, there was a lot of people talking about FEMA detention centers, and they had red lists and blue lists, and if you had, there was all kinds of paranoia out. I mean, if you had a little blue mark on your mailbox, then you were one of the second ones to be rounded up. If you had a little red mark, then you one of the first ones. I never saw any red marks and blue marks, but I did hear a lot about FEMA detention centers. Now, that's what we're going to be talking about today, only this is more current, it's more real, and it's from 2 very credible people. Okay, first of all, the article. U.S. government is building secret detention facilities in 50 states for, quote, non-compliant dissidents. It says a whistleblower who worked for the Department of Health and Human Services noticed that this is not the Border Patrol, okay? We're talking about 2 different people. Human Services revealed that the U.S. government, in collaboration with the World Economic Forum, is building secret detention facilities in all 50 states capable of detaining millions of people. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're saying, oh, well, this is probably for the illegal aliens. No. There's only been roughly, we think, 50 million people in total that are illegal in America now. They have to estimate that by computers. As a matter of fact, I think we get to that, but it's not for them. According to the whistleblowers, these prison-like compounds located in sparsely populated, a lot of the times there is no roads going to it. The only way to get to it is by plane or by helicopter. Located in sparsely populated and controlled locations, will be used for those who refuse to comply with upcoming government mandates and regulations. Oh, come on, Stan. This is never going to, oh, well, I'm going to show you that I think there's 3 different people that have seen dreams and visions of exactly this coming to pass. Upcoming government mandates and regulations regarding long-term lockdowns and can't say that word, for the new pandemic. They are not for housing illegal immigrants. The purpose is far more sinister. Christie Hutcherson, remember that name, from Women Fighting for America reveals the truth. She says former Customs and Border Protection Supervisor J.J. Carrell explains more. We know they are not being built for the tens of millions of illegal. I can't read today. We know they're not being built for the tens of millions of illegal immigrants who have poured across Biden's open border, because these illegal aliens have been absorbed into communities, farmed around the country, given free housing, free medical insurance, and, in many cases, debit cards loaded with cash, I hear $5,000. Okay, so that may be the reason that a lot of these illegal immigrants are not being arrested and rounded up, because they aren't doing anything wrong, because they have been put up in nice hotels, given debit cards with plenty of money on them, so they don't need to start killing and plundering and raping and things like that yet, but it's coming. The government rolled out the red carpet for these young fighting age men. Many of them, I think it was like 71%, they estimate, of the people coming in, the illegal aliens, are fighting age men. Many of them were flown here by the Biden administration on secret night flights. They were not brought here to be detained. J.J. Carrell explains under the Biden administration, ICE facilities across the country are sitting empty. Empty? Yeah, empty. During the American Revolution, remember, it only took 3% of the population to rise up against the British and overthrow that system. Wars are fought and won by small numbers because most of the population refuses to get involved. So remember the 3% figure while you consider that up to 40 million illegal aliens of fighting age have crossed Biden's border during his presidency and should give pause for thought. 40 million is almost 15% of the population of the United States. Many of these, 40 million, are UN soldiers waiting for orders to mobilize. Now, this is the lady, I want to have her on as a guest. Detention facilities being built in all 50 states, says Christie Hutcherson. Now, who's Christie Hutcherson? Well, I went to her website, and this is about her. Founder Christie Hutcherson says that she has traveled the entire southern and northern border and hundreds of miles of our forgotten northern border in her quest to save America. Christie has led over 100 border missions. She has seen firsthand the devastation of illegal immigration, child and human trafficking, organ trafficking, massive amounts of lethal drugs entering the USA, and the atrocities committed by the transnational criminal organizations. Now, I'm going to gripe here for just a minute. Prophecy Club used to have 100,000 subscribers 2 years ago, but that platform deleted us, and in my opinion, for no reason. And as a result of that, we should be at this point up to 200, maybe even 300,000 subscribers. So when I go to invite someone and they see we only have 12,000 subscribers, they think, they don't have an audience. I don't want to go to them. They're just small fries. Well, you and I know that that's not exactly the case. Okay, so we're on like 7 platforms, and I think we've got over 60,000 subscribers to Facebook and others. But the point is, the people that watch us are prophecy students. Now, so I went to her website, and this is what I found. It's Women Fighting for America. I'll give you the website in just a second. So I started trying to watch these videos. None of them are viewable. They say they have numbers, but I can't pull them up and watch them. So I want to invite this lady. I also want to invite J.J. Carrell. So if you go to wffa.win, that's her website, and I'm going to ask you to do that. Go to that website, and then go to the message section. I'm going to ask you to do something. You notice I don't ask you to write your senator or your congressman, but I'm going to ask you to go to this website and write her message, please do an interview with Prophecy Club. Because, see, they think, 12,000 subscribers, that's not very big, so they're not big enough to waste my time. So I need your help. If we're going to have her on, I need you to go there. And there's more. I also want to have J.J. Carrell on, and I think that's probably the same thing also. So go to jjcarrell.com, and then you can click on the Speaking Engagements tab, and I ask you to go in and also ask him to do an interview. So we want an interview with Christie, and we want an interview with J.J. Carrell also. All right, now, who's J.J. Carrell? Well, he uses his 24-year career in the United States Border Patrol as a journeyman agent and deputy patrol agent in charge to expose the who, the why, and the how this treason is being perpetuated against our nation. He's become the expert on border issues and the criminal acts by Biden, his administration, and the DDS machine. Carrell is unafraid to speak the truth, and he is unapologetically, there we get that right, patriotic. Now, to tell you a little bit about him, 24-year veteran of the Border Patrol, author of this book. I actually bought the book, and as you can see, I'm in the process of reading it. Hadn't read all of it yet, but I'm reading it. And I think it's an excellent book. And if you want to know what's really going on at the border, this is the guy that can tell you. So anyway, I recommend you go and get the book. I think it was like $14.95 or something like that. All right, anyway. Jeremiah 51 verse 14 says, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. In other words, they're going to fight against us. So this is an interview that J.J. Carrell gave to another website. He says, I'm not a guy that just takes a camera and shows you people crossing the border. I've lived that life for 24 years down on the border. I ran ATV units, rapid response teams on the Tijuana border every day. I put on my gun and badge and assaulted guys that tied baling wire across the border fences to try and decapitate us as we drove our ATVs 50 miles an hour, chasing groups, fighting day in and day out with gangbangers, rapists, murderers, and child predators. They tried to spill my blood, but I spilled a lot of their blood on that border. I'm not ashamed to say it. I kept America safe with my guys. We did things in the dark that liberal rhinos are disgusted by. They like putting their head on the pillow at night and not being raped and pillaged in their houses. That's what my guys stopped. My 60-man unit would lay hidden at night, wait for these giant Mexican fishing vessels that they would have 30 or 40 people that they were smuggling into America to arrive. We were a narcotic interdiction team. We were arresting 6,000 to 10,000 pounds of narcotics a night and arresting 30 to 40 people every night. It was dangerous. It was great. I loved it. It's dirty. It's violent beyond anything you could possibly imagine. There is a sense of desperation. The weak get devoured, but I loved it. God built me specifically for that job, and I thrived. I was excellent at it. I moved up the ranks into senior leadership. The San Diego sector has 2,200 agents. At the time, I was in the top 25. I'm going to give you You're not going to believe me. I would pause in writing my book. I would look and say a quick prayer to God, and I would just say, nobody's going to believe me, God. Nobody's going to believe what I'm writing in this book. About 11 months earlier, this is the book, everything I wrote came to pass. Yale and MIT did a study in 2018 and 19. They published all this democratic data into an algorithm, and ran the AI algorithm 1 million times. And it came up with an average of 50 million illegal aliens that are now in our country. If we have 50 million illegals inside our walls, that is 1 in 6 residents in America are illegal aliens. Let me read that again. 50 million illegal aliens is 1 in 6 people are illegal in our nation. Throughout the history of the world, what civilization has withstood this demographic shift and survived? And the answer is none. 0. Now, let me remind you, the angel that spoke to Dmitri said the fall of America would start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people would start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. I think the internal problems are going to come from these illegal aliens. The Ottoman Empire, the Roman Empire, Greece, you go down the list, they all imploded. They were all destroyed from within. At the beginning of the Joe Biden administration, they had meetings at the highest level of government to make strategic, intentional, and purposeful plans to open our borders and thereby destroy America. There is no other explanation, none. I always ask people this. I have intimate knowledge of what he's doing, how he's doing it. I have contacts through at the border guys that are sending me pictures, videos, and calling me. I have my thumb on the pulse. I know exactly what's going on. Not one thing, not one single thing that we were doing at the Border Patrol today has ever been done in the 96 and a half years. Never in my 23-year career. In 23 years, I secured about 20,000 arrests. I saw triple that by other officers' arrest records. One day I did a ride-along with a sheriff. The sheriff tells me the coroner's office needs to talk to him. A Nigerian mother and father's 10-month-old baby had drowned in the Rio Grande. The coroner says the baby's cause of death is drowning. Then the coroner asks us to step aside out of the earshot of the mom and dad. And he says, yes, the cause of death was drowning, but this little baby girl was sexually penetrated in every orifice of her little body. Every one. Now, what do you think about that? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, I know what you're thinking. Oh, well, those kind of people are coming across the border? Well, that's terrible. I don't think you're truly getting the point. Why are these people coming across the border? Why are they bringing babies? Little baby boys, little baby girls. Why are they bringing drugs? Fentanyl, cocaine. Why are they bringing them? There's only one reason. They're going to make money. They're going to get paid. Who is it that's paying for the drugs, the little girls, the little boys that are going to be sex trafficked? In other words, see, Jesus sees the heart of the nation. He sees this going on. I believe he hears the screams of those little boys and girls saying, if there is a God, he has got to put a stop to this. Yes, there is a God, and yes, he's about to put a stop to it, and it's not going to be pretty. My suggestion, josephskitchen.com. So right now they're overstocked on red wheat. They want to get rid of the red wheat, so they're making this special. Buy 1 pail of red wheat and get another pail of red wheat free. Buy 1, get 1 free while supplies last. josephskitchen.com. Now, what does that mean? Well, 1 loaf of bread feeds one person for about a week. Each bucket makes about 28 loaves, which means 1 bucket feeds 1 person for about 6 months. My suggestion is right down here. Get 8 pails, feed 4 people for about 1 year, And right now they'll double it. So if you buy 8, they'll send you 16 pails. That'll feed 8 people for a year or 4 people for 2 years. And it's nitrogen packed, so it's going to keep for lots and lots of years. Okay, how many we don't know. But even if you're not making it into bread, you can boil it and eat it like cereal or something like that. So my suggestion right here, josephskitchen.com. Get it while they're doing a summer blowout. Now let's jump to this. I just read this, I think it was like even a week ago. I'm going to read it again, but I'm going to point out some different things. This is only part of it. Dana Coverstone. The room darkened. The screen revealed running taglines saying things like, "Avoid the unvaccinated. These people are dangerous. Please inform authorities of all sightings." Now, the point here, I want you to understand that evil people in high places are planning to round up people that are dissenters. Now, dissenters of what? Oh, New World Order. Oh, yeah. Vaccines, alcohol, yeah. That's not the problem. The problem is when they come to the mark of the beast. The problem is when they come for you and I that refuse it. They wouldn't do that. Oh, yes. The prophecies say that's exactly what they're going to do. Then the screen showed a group of about 8 people running along a ditch near a cornfield that had not been harvested. They carried backpacks and several large brown tarps. Why? To hide themselves. Why? Because they use high technology from satellite and helicopters to track people down. Trust me, they do have a way to find us, and probably most of us in Prophecy Club will probably have the idea or the opportunity to deny Jesus, meaning we're probably going to be overcomers, meaning we'll probably give our life for Jesus. So the best time to decide to do that is right now. Not when you're standing in the shadow of the guillotine, not when you have your hands tied and your ankles tied and you're on your knees and someone has a big, long, curved sword and says, "Do you accept Allah or not?" The time to make that decision is now. The sun was setting. They had 2 scouts closely watching ahead of them and 2 scouts behind them. When the lights appeared on the road in either direction, they quickly ran into the field about 30 feet, covered themselves with a tarp, and laid extremely still. No movement, no noise was made until the vehicle was well by them. I cannot tell you how many other dreams and visions of other people that have seen exactly the same thing in various ways. It was coordinated effort among the people, including children and dogs. As the threat passed, the people emerged. They ran straight ahead until they came to the T in the road. When they catch them, where do they take them? To these places that they have built and are building in places that don't have roads going to them. The only way you get to it is by helicopter or plane, and they are designed to hold millions of people, Christians. Scouts on the other side of the road, near the railroad track, flashlights telling them it was clear to cross. They all ran quickly. Once they reached the ditch, a light blinked from the window of the garage home. By now, it was dark, so the scouts started quietly moving a few people at a time. They had to lay as flat on the ground as possible. The group crawled through the window, and just as it closed, helicopter with searchlights searched the area they had just left. Are you ready to give your life for Jesus? Look it. If you haven't already accepted Jesus, you are behind the clock. You are behind the times. You better get on the stick. The scene changed to an EMS alert. The signal blared loud and the reporter kept saying, "Martial law has been declared. Everyone caught outside after 7 p.m. would be arrested and taken to the local..." Okay, what do you want to call it? Local facility for processing? Who cares about the fine? And these are off-road. If I can get this lady on, she is saying that she used to work for a company, and they were all the time going to this government website. So if anybody knows what that website is, get it to me. I'm trying to find it. And this is where the government puts up bids, you know, maybe to build a building or, you know, to build a new plane or whatever. They put up a bid, things that they're wanting people to build, and then people submit a bid, and then they hire them. Well, on that website, she is claiming that every state in the Union has now put out bids for barbed wire prison camps off-road. No road going to it. What are they doing? The reporter kept saying, if you see something, say something. They're looking for you and me. Safeguard your community from dangerous assailants. Do your country proud. Turn them in. If this doesn't rattle you, and by the way, I know you're thinking, this is too radical. I can't send this out to my friends. Look it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can. Better to lose them as a friend than see them burn in hell, right? The scene changed back to the people being hog-tied. Are you looking at these words? Hog-tied and thrown into the back of the cattle trucks and hauled off. The people inside were yelling and screaming at the handlers. The handlers were all well armed. They used electric shock cattle prods to shock the people to back up or to do as they told them. Others have seen where they have this unusual looking black rifle, and as the people run away from the people trying to arrest them, they fire like a phaser thing, and it hits the people and it knocks them out and they fall to the ground. They go over and basically round them up and take them off to the detention center. The screen went blank, and the man I see so often said, I take it you are the specialist. You're right, and I will explain what you've seen if you'd like to. Yes, please. You're seeing the present, future, and the coming conservative purge. The coming conservative purge. Say it again. The coming conservative purge. In other words, who are they after? You and me. The Antichrist spirit is here, and yet they begin to make the purchase to deceive the world with healing blood. I'm going to skip part of this because I skipped the part that explains what he's talking about here. You must stay braced. Every believer is about to have their bracing revealed and the foundation uncovered. As the specialist, I warn you to take the salve from your eyes. Stop coating your life with wine. In other words, stop sinning is what it's basically saying. Now, I'm going to skip this. I'm going to skip this. Let me go on to the next one. Lance Woods had the same dream 3 times over 7 days. Soldiers were coming through my neighborhood. Many homes had been vacated for a long time. Soldiers were rounding up people that remained. Those who didn't get on the truck without incident or tried to run were simply shot and killed immediately. Bodies left where they fell. I woke up to screaming and bullhorns. I looked out my window and saw the soldiers hitting one home at a time. I woke my 17-year-old daughter and her friend. We snuck out of the house being quiet, staying downwind, as the soldiers had super hearing, super smell, and could see in the dark without night vision. No reasoning, emotion, or empathy. They were programmed and following their orders. Many people shot the soldiers, but to no effect. They healed instantly right before their eyes. The only way to kill them was a headshot with a high-caliber rifle. We could not talk or make any noise while we made our way down to the embankment to the river. We wanted to get into the water to help mask our smell. I slid down the embankment, making noise, and cut my shin. I remember the sound of the leaves crackling and the smell of the dirt as I slid into the embankment. The girls looked at me in fear, knowing a soldier heard the noise. They quietly slid into the water. I froze, hiding behind a tree as one soldier came listening and sniffing, investigating the noise. He was 6.5 or 7 foot tall, with muscles like a weightlifter and covered in a metallic battle armor overlapping like an armadillo. His eyes were red. His face had a beastly humanoid appearance. He scanned the area. I was ready to shoot, protect. Now, let me just explain. I believe those are the Nephilim. Sons of God came down, made of the daughters of many men. Okay. I knew the shot would draw the other soldiers and I would be dead, but at least my daughter would live. The soldier turned and walked away. Oh, well, that's just a couple of examples. No, I got several of them. This is only a few I've got. David Phillips. He says, I was in church. When I stood, a vision immediately began. In the vision, I saw what looked like a movie screen directly in front of me. Then to the left and the right sides of the screen expanded at the same time to look like it was forever. Also, the top and bottom expanded to forever. I was no longer thinking about the church. All of a sudden, I was thinking about the vision. The vision was of a new pope, a pope that was standing in front of great masses of people in Italy at the Vatican. He was high so that he could speak to the people directly. He looked younger than past popes, not frail. I'm going to skip part of it. What greatly troubled me were the words he was shouting. What are the words? Basically, go arrest the Protestants. Go get the Protestants. They are the unbelievers. The crowd, well, see, that's the same thing that the other guy said. Bible says in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, let a thing be established. I'm running along here, so I'm going to cut this short. The crowd was shouting with rage and hatred in support of him. He said the penalty for them must be death. Okay, so try to imagine this. All the world is under one governmental rule. All of the world is reporting to one flesh and blood person, the Antichrist. That means his words supersede all other rules, constitutions, whatever. He says, if they don't have my mark, you have not only my permission, but I'm commanding you to kill them. Read Revelation 13:10. That's what it says, if you understand it. So he commands all of the people that have the mark to go kill all of the people that don't have the mark. You know, I think I'm going to stop right there. Not a joke. Not a joke. We're potentially only a few years away from this. Not a joke. So what is an EMP shield device? It's a device you can put on your car and your house that in an EMP attack is supposed to stop the attack. And if you go to empshield.com and if you use the promo code prophecy, they give you a $50 discount. They also have videos up there, shows you how to install it on your car and your house and everything, and it's not difficult at all. I've got one of them right here. Red goes to red, black goes to black, green goes to the car, body of your car, and you just peel it off the back, stick it under there. Got another device that goes on your house. So, not complicated. Take you about 10 minutes to put them in. So, empshield.com, promo code is prophecy.